Okay, so down here, usually I will start off with the lesson objective. So today's lesson objective is about two things. Number one, completing the square. Number two, the quadratic formula. All right, the quadratic formula, later I sing the song for you guys again. All right, then you all can make a recording, can? Then you all can save it as your ringtone. Okay, yeah? All right, so down here, let's talk a little bit about the quick notes. Right, so for these quick notes, right, can you all please have an exercise book with you guys? All right, so whatever important notes, right, you can actually put it into the exercise book. All right, for this, we call it the Sec 3 Awesome class, Ken. Awesome again, oh my goodness. All right, every year is awesome. All right, maybe next year we change to something else, Ken. All right, so Sec 3 Awesome, huh? And our first topic today is called quadratic functions or quadratic equations. Okay, can I have a show of hands? Or maybe can you please go to the chat and type for me? Right, go to the chat and type for me. Type what? What is your school teacher doing right now? In terms of math. In terms of elementary math. Is your teacher doing indices? Is your teacher doing your teacher is doing Sec 2 what? Revision work everybody revision? The entire class failed Sec 2. Are you kidding, Natalie? Oh my goodness, that's scary. The rest of you, what's your school teacher doing right now? Tomorrow first lesson. Okay, quadratic function. Okay, Ken? I heard that. All right. So it's either quadratic functions or indices. I don't know. All right. So if you can go to the chat and give me an idea. Okay, quadratic equations, Cedric. Thank you so much. All right. So I will be continuing with quadratic equations today. All right. And I think indices will come in lesson 3 or so. Ken, I have math lesson every day. Oh my goodness, Xianhao. Good for you. All right. Chapter 1 is quadratic equation. Very good. Very good. All right. Because different schools are using different textbook. Some of the textbook, right, chapter 1 is indices. I'm just checking with you guys. Okay, good. Okay, come. So today, right, we'll be focusing on quadratic equation. All right, and quadratic equation, right, I will need you to write down some of the notes. All right, and the notes will be something like this here. Okay? Okay, so for quadratic equation, right, we have actually one way of doing, all right, which is in Sec 2. Sec 2, we learn this, Sec 2. Sec 2, we learn something called what? Factorize before solving. Factorize before solving. All right. Number two is the highlight of today. All right, which is Sec 3. Sec 3, we use something called completing the square. All right, this completing a square is actually a pain in the down there method. All right. So this is actually a painful method. All right, number 2. Number 3 is also a Sec 3 method. It's called the quadratic formula method. All right, and quadratic formula is a fun method because it's just a formula. Okay. So let's just do a quick revision. Let's just do a quick revision of the Sec 2 method, factorize before solving. How does it look like? Okay, factorize before solving. Are you ready? Come. So for example, the question gives you something like that. Example 1. The question gives you something like 5x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. Okay, what must you do? Okay, the first step, right? The first step, you must have the equal to 0 portion. Okay, once you have the equal to 0 portion, good. The next step is to factorize. So this portion you are supposed to factorize. And how do you factorize? All right, you are supposed to take out the common term as best as you can. 5 and 4, there's no common term. X squared and x, there's a common term. You take out the x. And what are you left with? You're left with 5x minus 4. Remember this? You learned this in Sec 1, Sec 2 actually, the factorization part. Then the solving part, you can say what? You can say that x is equal to 0 or 5x minus 4 is equal to 0. 5x is equal to 4. X is equal to 4 or 5. Remember all this? This is what you learn in Sec 2. Okay? So this is example 1. You are supposed to factorize before solving. Hey, but sure, sometimes, right, the quadratic, right, will come in this particular form. Example 2. So children, my advice to you is this portion, you write it into your exercise book. Write it in. This one is like a quick notes. You are able to refer to it quickly before your test, before your exam, and get an idea of what is happening. All right, then you go for your exam. Wow, feeling that you know everything. Okay, looking at this example 2, what do you see? Oh, very familiar. Yes. Do you have the equal to 0 portion? Yes, 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 I do. I have the equal to 0 portion. That's good. All right. And what's the next step? What's the next step? Factorize before solving. So the next step down here is to factorize. All right, how do you factorize? Oh, this one, right, I know. All right, I can use the what? I can use the cross factorization method, which is taught to you, right, from your Sec 2. Or teacher taught me another method. Teacher teach me the multiplication frame method. Which one? This method. Can you see? Can you see? All right, so there are these 2 methods that your teacher might have taught you. All right, one is called the cross factorization, one is called the multiplication frame. This is called the multiplication frame. All right, this is called the cross factorization. Can? All right, so your teacher might have used these 2 methods so that you will be able to factorize your quadratic. And after you factorize your quadratic, right, you should get to something like this, where there is bracket equal to 0. Remember this? Okay? But for me, right, I taught my Sec 2, right, Jia Wen and Cedric. Just to let you know, for me, I taught my Sec 2, right, a little bit more in-depth. All right? I taught them the easier method, actually. I taught them to use the calculator, press calculator, to get to the final answer. All right? So I taught them the cheating method to make them faster. Okay? Okay, so how do you press the calculator? For those who are using the Casio FX97 SGX, FX97 SGX. All right, Cedric and maybe Jia Wen, maybe can try to press with me if you're using the Casio FX97 SGX. I need you to press the menu, press 522. All right, press for me, press menu, 522. All right, and you are supposed to key in the coefficient of x squared, x, and a number into the calculator. All right, so you're supposed to key in 1, -7, and 12 into the calculator because it's part of the question. You press 1, press equal, press -7, press equal, press 12, press equal, press equal. The calculator immediately gives you the answer as what? X is equal to 4, or press equal again, x is equal to 3. All right, for Jia Wen and Cedric, if you can learn to press the calculator, it gives you an advantage over the rest. All right, so if you're using Casio FX97 SGX, press menu, which is beside the word on button, press the number 522. Press in the number 1, -7, and 12. Press equal, you get 4. Press equal again, you get 3. So these 4 and 3 are actually the answers really. How do you return back to the normal calculator? Press menu, press 1. This is the normal calculator mode. All right, so once you get the answer, right, I always teach my students how to work backwards. Because we learn cheating method, right? We have to learn backwards to show the working down here. All right, so we are supposed to show the working down here. So how? +4 you bring across to the left-hand side is -4. And after you bring across, down here left with 0 already. +3 you bring across to the left-hand side is -3. Down here, if you bring across, left with 0. All right, and what do? You just put this on top here. And you put this on top here. Can you see now? So you're actually doing the reverse. So am I using the cross factorization? No. Am I using the multiplication frame? No. I'm using the calculator to find the answer at the back, and I work backwards. Do a last check. Very important, children. All right, the rest of you, please listen. Do a last check, which is what? X times X, is it X squared? Is it X squared? Is correct. Down here is correct. Means correct already. Sometimes, right? You take X times X is a X, it's like a 2X square. Then something might be wrong, right? Then that one I will teach you how to adjust again. Right, so down here you have to check whether do they multiply to become a X square. If they do, means it's correct. Right, so this one is called working backwards. You are given the final answer, you work backwards. All right, so you save time trying to guess what number to put into the multiplication frame and the cross factorization. If your teacher asks you, hey, how come your working is not there? This working. Honestly, this working don't have to be there. This working don't have to be there. Your presentation is the first line, can jump to this one and this one. All right, the presentation is only the 4 ticks down here. You don't have to show this working down here. Right, it's not required. But if your teacher asks you, hey, how come you don't have this working, but you can get to your answer? What do you say? I do it mentally lah. Can? Right, just tell your teacher that you do it mental sum. Can. All right, I got students who can do it mentally. All right, so please learn to use your calculator. It will give you an unfair advantage over the rest. Good. Right, it gives you an unfair advantage. Good. Right, that's my job. My job is to give you an advantage over your classmates. Can? Okay, so the next portion, right, is actually the pain in the of quadratic equation, right, which actually I don't like, right, but I have to teach, no choice. Okay, so this is called completing the square. It's called completing a square. All right, so it's part of your Sec 3 topic, so it must be us. So down here, I'll be giving you 2 examples. So example 1 and example 2. Are you ready? Okay. So the first example, right, for example, I will say is like that. X squared plus 6x minus 8 is equal to 0. All right. So this is what I call a quadratic equation. Hey, hello, Ali. Long time no see. How are you? All right. Glad that you are back here again. All right. All right. So we are talking about something called quadratic equation. All right. And we are going to use the second method, which is called completing the square, Ali. All right. All right. So completing the square is actually your Sec 3 topic. What do you do? So for completing the square, I need you to follow the steps. Right? I need to follow the steps, step by step steps. Okay. So step number 1, this is very important. Step number 1 is very important. Many people forget. Ensure what? Ensure coefficient of x squared is a 1. All right. This is the first step that many people forget. Ensure coefficient of x squared is a 1. What's the meaning of coefficient? Coefficient means the number, the sign in front of x squared. All right, for this particular case, coefficient of x squared, right? Right, the meaning of coefficient means the number, the sign. All right, so what's the number, the sign in front of x squared is a 1. Very good. Pass. Stage 1, you pass. Okay, what is step 2? Step 2, bring what? Bring constant term to right-hand side. RHS means right-hand side. What is the meaning of constant term? What is this meaning of constant term? Constant term is like the number term. The number term in this case is minus 8. Right, so step 2, bring the constant term to the right-hand side. Right-hand side means to the right-hand side of the equation. All right, so what is left? You are left with x squared plus 6x on the left equal to the constant term, which is the number, minus 8, you bring it across to give you a positive 8. Okay? Step 2. Step number 3. Insert plus bracket over 2 squared on both sides. Insert plus bracket over 2 squared on both sides. So it's a step-by-step thing, children. Seriously. You just do it step by step every time you get it correct one. Trust me. Trust me. All right, so you have to insert plus bracket over